But it was a great experience for you, I imagine, because you're pleased with the end result. I know that,
yes,
and I'm looking forward. I hope it does well.
It was great. I just thought it's so exciting to be talking about something else. I have to tell you,
it must be nice.
It's lovely.
Let's go back to Potter. No, let's talk about something else now. And you might not be pleased with this, but I'm going to ask you about your personal life. You're with someone. You're in a relationship.
I am. Yes.
How long have you been in that?
About a year and a half, something like that.
It's not, you should try and remember the date. That's always... girls like that.
August.
You don't have to
7th.
give me the date.
I'm pretty sure it's August 7th.
Just remember it and buy an after.
But it's kind of arbitrary at this stage, because we're not married, so where'd you take it from? Well, I know where I take it from.
Well, high five for that. That's it, right there. That's it. Right there. Right there. Wow. Wow, so you wrote that in the diary, but... don't tell us the date, because otherwise people will all remember it and go, oh, yeah,
oh, that's when that
happened. But this is going to get... It must be, I imagine, challenging being in the public eye and doing that, and being someone who there's so much global interest in. Not
particularly. I mean, as long as you just have a sense of humour about it. I mean, what was fantastic was that when it came out that, you know, Rosie and I had been going out for about a year, and then somebody got a shot of us walking around New York. And it went from... The progression was fantastic because it was Rosie Coker, 22, daughter of Malcolm and Jill Coker, and it made reference to Malcolm being a painter and decorator. And then, which he's a builder, in fact. And then the next day it became daughter of Malcolm Coker, painter. Then it became daughter of Malcolm Coker, artist. And then finally it was Rosie Coker, 22, artist. So it was, you know, when you see the progression of that and you get a window into the insight of how much of that stuff's just mad and weird, you just got to laugh at it. And she takes it all in stride. So.
And so, well, good luck with the relationship. I hope it goes well, you know, I hope that things pan out and that thing that happened that you remember, I hope that one day that happens again.
Yeah. Hopefully it will. It's the only time, that's what I remember.
It's such a lovely thing. What's next for you? What's lined up next?
After I finish promoting Woman in Black, I'm having 3 weeks off, and then I'm hopefully doing a film in America called Kill Your Darlings, which is about a murder that formed the Beat Generation, and I'll be playing Allen Ginsberg at 19.
Wow, the poet Allen Ginsberg?
Yeah.
How lovely to have you here. Will you join me in saying thank you to the splendid Daniel Radcliffe, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Woman in Black is out February the 10th. It's fun and it's super scary, so go and see that. Let's get my next guest out, ladies and gentlemen. He is quite simply one of the world's greatest broadcasters. Will you please welcome Sir David Attenborough. How lovely to see you, and I hope you know, not just from that response, but generally the warmth that people feel towards you and the respect that they have for you. I hope you're aware of that.
That's very kind.
I'm sure you are. How do people react to you? What kind of things do people, when they come up to you, when they bump into you in the street or see you, do they ask you favours? They ask you to do things, leave a ring message, that kind of stuff?
The standard thing, of course, is what is your favourite animal?
Hold on, let me just take some of these questions.
But, or where you like to be most. And the plain, truthful answer is where I really like to be most, of course, is home, actually. Yeah. Because, you know, the North Pole's great for 3 weeks.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah, but I mean, home.
Home is where the heart is, and home is...
That's
what creature comforts do you miss from home when you're away?
Good cooking, I think, really.
And other things that you always take with you? I mean, obviously you have all the requisite safety equipment, but there are things that you make sure you always pack?
I always have my front door key.
It would be... How annoying would it to get back from the North Pole and realise you'd left it out there?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I mentioned earlier that you were... Some people said the oldest traveller to reach the North Pole. But you hadn't been... The first time you went there was for that series. It was quite recent.
Yeah, I've been to the South Pole a couple of times, but it was the first time I went to the North Pole. Of course, the North Pole is ice, you know. There's a sea that covers the top of the planet, and there's ice on it, and that somewhere in there's the North Pole, and if you can work it out from the stars, you will know exactly where it is. Otherwise, you'll believe the blokes who take you there.
Why did it take you so long to get there? You just hadn't had the chance to go there before? It was just because you were doing Frozen Planet, or...?
Well, there's not many animals there, you know, it's just ice. You know,
That's about the most straightforward answer you could have given me. Of course, I hadn't thought of that. Why would you go there? You're not doing programmes about ice, you're doing programmes about the animals. Right. Which ones did you meet there? Which were the ones that in the North Pole that you hadn't seen in situ in their natural habitat before?
Well, I saw polar bears closer this time than I'd seen them before. Elephant seals, they're terrific, you know. 3 tons, 4 tons of seal rising 8 feet up in the air and going at you.
Hold on. Seal, we're not talking about you, I've just realised.
No, he's bigger.
He's bigger. You're bigger than some of them.
Neither are we, mate.
I don't want you rearing up on me. Over the years, you've made any number of shows, and I think I'm right in saying that this is your 60th year in television.
60th year in broadcasting, yeah.
60 years in broadcasting. Yeah. Incredible. Well, congratulations. It's got to be a record, I would have thought. And TV was very different back then, of course. It was...
all live.
All live?
All live.
Black and white?
Black and white. 405 lines, little set like that.
Are you going to celebrate? Is there something planned for you, or is there something planned by you?
I'm going to do 3 programmes about how natural history broadcasting, how you're making natural history films, how that's changed in 60 years, and then how our understanding of the world has changed in 60 years, which has been huge, actually. Yeah. And then how the world has changed in 60 years.
So kind of an overview based on your personal experience, but also what we've learned and what we've seen.
Yeah, yeah.
The technology must have changed so much. I imagine you can now get so much closer, do so much more work, and just be amongst it.
In a funny way, we've gone back a bit, because making natural history films has depended on having long lenses, or not depended, but it's improved. The longer you can get close-ups from farther away, you can film in the dark, you can film the bottom of the sea, you can do all these things. And the gear has got smaller and smaller, so you can now put them on the back of a bird, for example. Wow. But I'm now filming in 3D. And 3D is now... You've gone back to really big gear.
This is for Bachelor King. This went out on Sky, and it's now going to be seen at cinemas. I didn't see it in 3D. I've seen it in 2 dimensions. I want to see the 3D versions. Did you watch it back in 3D?
Well, I've seen it in 3D, yeah.
So do you feel... Is it worth that extra effort? Do you really feel more in amongst it?
Yes. I mean, you can... It's a mistake to try and pick one shot and sort of suddenly something plunges out of the screen and all that sort of thing. Because that gets very boring if you did it for 90 minutes, you know. And so that you should be gentle, as it were, with 3D, and then you really suddenly feel that you're moving into this new world, 3-dimensional world. It has an impact which is quite extraordinary.
You know, you're not someone I would think of as a sensationalist, someone who kind of says things to make a splash. You're very considered, I think, obviously a very responsible broadcaster, like me. And what... but I know some people have... attacked is perhaps too strong a word, but certainly have voiced their dissent when you have spoken about climate change. They've said, oh, we don't believe him. And I know in America as well, they said you were being somewhat alarmist about this. You disagree, I'm sure.
Yes, I don't think you'll find any responsible scientist who's been looking at the facts about the climate and how that has changed, about what has been happening, as we can trace over the last 500 years, from looking at the air that's trapped in ice bubbles, for example. We can plot the whole thing, and we can see very clearly that it's changing. And in my time, in going back to South Georgia, you know, I've seen glaciers retreat. Now, one retreating glacier doesn't prove that it's changing. You have to take a proper view, and the proper view is that it's changing. Now, there can be an argument as to how far human beings are responsible for that change, but in the end, that's not the point. If, in fact, the sea is going to rise because of the melting ice, and rise by as much as a metre or something, that is a very serious problem for a lot of cities around the world, which are all built close to the sea. And it's happening already. I mean, in the Pacific, there are islands that were at sea level, and the sea has now swamped them.
So it could affect cities like the one we're sitting in right now, like
Certainly,
London?
eventually, not in the next 10 years, but this is the time to deal with it, not to wait until it's happening.
So we should move?
Yeah.
But, you know, I so respect your voice on this more than most people, and I know that is something we should definitely focus on. You know, we mentioned penguins, ladies and gentlemen, and I love seeing you interact with animals. And I thought, well, let's find out if we could bring some animals here into the studio. And we like to keep the studio chilly anyway, but you might notice it's a little chillier than normal, because we do have some special friends to bring out to meet you. No, you haven't. I don't think... Here's the thing. You may have met these penguins in the wild. I don't know. They might recognise you. Do you get that? You ever go to the zoo and a monkey looks at you and think, I met you in the...
Yes, I have.
What are you doing here? Well, what are you doing here? OK, let's bring them out. Their names are... One's called Charlie, and the other, unfortunately for me, is called Ferrari. OK? Here they come. OK, look, I've got a buzzer, so they think I'm going to give them some fish, so I'm going to give them some fish now. Would you like some fish? OK. David, would you like to give them a fish?
Yeah.
Mind your fingers, because they're big, so razor sharp. Here, look, you give them... Whoa, look at that. OK. Daniel, have you ever met a penguin?
No.
Do you want to come out and meet a penguin?
Yeah.
Hold it, come on, I'll get the... Oh, wow! It's because I've got a fish. No, come out and... Oh, OK, let's have one. Who wants one? Oh, one. I'll get another one for you. OK, don't pack me. Look, Daniel, you want to give... Want to give one a fish?
Yeah. Hey. Oh, what are you? Oh.
Noel Fielding, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what. No. I'll give one to you, Noel. Yeah.
I don't even...
Give him a fishy.
I was actually raised by penguins.
David, could you tell us this penguin, where is this sort of penguin found normally?
This is a Magellanic penguin from South America, the far south of South America.
I've only got one left, dudes.
The ones we're making about is about that, twice the size of these.
I pulled this one in half, so I have half each. Who wants to have? This is... One's got an arm. Charlie here's got an arm. Hey, that's a smaller fish now.
Yeah, you see?
Oh, I don't know whether I can do that quite close enough. No, you, it's him. He's his one. No, he's got the one. David, I think I might need your expert touch getting them back into their box. Would you mind leading them off? Would you? So, before you go, ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in saying thank you and show your appreciation to the remarkable... Daniel, you take one. There, this way. Go on, there you go. Let's go.
We're going this way.
Go on, penguin.
Come with us. Yeah, this way. Here we go.
Go back there. Go and speak to seals. That's why they don't want to go back there. You know, there's a seal there. Well done.